Yo squad, it's the exam coach checking in with you. In today's video, you'll learn about the exam coach way to determine when exactly you should start revising for your GCSE exams. Okay, so this is a question I get asked a lot. And I know for a lot of you watching, you've probably just got back to school and revision, exams, all that stuff might not be the first thing on your agenda or the thing you're looking forward to most this year. But let's talk about it because we want to make sure you're on top form come exam season. In true exam coach style, we're going to break it down, take it from the top, make it nice and easy to understand. So let's begin with the obvious question. What's revision? To revise literally means to look at again or to revisit. It's from the Latin phrase revisere or revisere. Revisere is actually the right way to say it. Revisere is just my chilled way of saying it, but that's all you need to know. During the process of revision, we develop our understanding and ability to recall the subject we're studying. The more you revisit and test yourself over an extended period of time, the greater your understanding and ability to recall that subject will become. Okay, so now we know what revision is, we can move on to step one of the exam coach way to determine when exactly you should start revising. Step one, write down all of the subjects you are studying this year for GCSE. Do it on a piece of paper, a note-taking app on your smartphone, doesn't matter where, just crack it down somewhere and get on with it. Now, here's the important part. Write down how you feel about your ability to achieve the grade you want to achieve in each of these subjects. Use a grading system from 1 to 5 and judge it on how you currently feel right now in this moment. If you give yourself a 5, it means you feel confident about everything you've covered in the syllabus so far. And if you were to sit a mock exam tomorrow, you'd back yourself to get near that grade that you'd ideally like to achieve if you were examined on just what you've covered so far in the syllabus. If you give yourself a 1, it basically means you haven't got a Scooby, what's going on, and you need to hit the books pretty sharpish. It doesn't matter if you're a 5 or a 1. All that matters is that you do this and you move on to step 2. For step 2, we need to consider how long you have left between now and when you do your first exam. Whatever this is for you, write it down in 2 ways, the number of days and the number of weeks. If you need some help working that out, it's days divided by 7, boom, there's your answer. Crack on, smash it, the exam coach way, love it. Step 3, now get yourself a calendar that shows you the time you have from now till you start your first exam. Chop it up into 3 equal parts. So for this example, and to make things real nice and easy, let's just take the terms this school year. So term 1, let's call it phase 1 because we're doing things the exam coach way, of course. Phase 1, that's going to be September to the end of December. Phase 2, that's term 2, that's going to be January to mid-March, late March time. Phase 3, that's going to be term 3, and we're looking at late March, early April to when you start your first exam, which is going to be probably late May time. Let's go with that. So let's talk about phase 1. Phase 1 is not about revision in the sense that we defined it earlier in the video. You're not reviewing or revisiting anything. You're actually just putting in the work, hitting the books, making sure you're up to speed with what has been covered so far in the subject you're studying for. We do this to gather everything we need, lay a super solid foundation for exam season, and make sure there's no gaps when it actually comes to putting in a big shift at the desk during exam season and when you're revising. This also ensures that you've covered everything you need to know for the exam at least once. Now, those numbers that we wrote down earlier from 1 to 5, they're going to guide you in each of your subjects. They're going to indicate to you, okay, which ones can I afford to just go to class, pay attention, stay up to speed on, and which ones, aka my ones where I don't have a clue what's going on, do I need to put in a bit of legwork, figure out what's going on, ask the teacher more questions, do some extra study, ask your friends for their notes, copy stuff, get it down, gather the information and get cracking. And remember, don't go anywhere without your map. That's your syllabus and your subject specification. You need to have them on deck, ready to go, because they're going to guide you through what you don't understand currently, and also they're going to map the way forward so you can stay up to speed with the class. If you've got a lot of 1s and 2s next to your subjects, take it on the chin, put in the legwork, take ownership for that, and figure out how you can move forward. You're not going to get anywhere by complaining or blaming other people. How do I know? I used to do it, and I'm going to tell you a quick story now. Back when I was at school, I didn't exactly find it easy to concentrate, pay attention, behave in class. In fact, between the age of 14, 15, I had a pretty rough 2 or so years. And I definitely didn't stay up to date with what was going on in class. When I hit year 11, I thought, okay, I've had the last 2 years where all I've done is enjoy myself, coast, muck about a bit, not pay attention. I owe it to myself to actually put a shift in. I haven't worked hard yet. I don't even know what hard work is. I'm going to really commit to this and make this happen because I've had it easy up to now, and it's about time I actually put a shift in and got things going. And that's what I did. So if that distinction helps you at all, I'd encourage you to think about it that way. And in fact, all you're doing is paying back what you owe. You've had a great time. You've coasted. Now it's time to hit the books and smash it. On the flip side, if you find yourself with lots of 4s and 5s next to the subjects you wrote down, you obviously don't need to do as much recovery legwork as someone who's currently wedging in 1 and 2 town. But you do need to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Make sure you understand everything that's been taught before, double check that. And something that you can prioritize is your extracurricular activities and your routine around a balanced, healthy lifestyle. You want to work on that and have that on point for exam season. So let's move on to phase 2. Phase 2 in this example is that second term. We're looking at January to about mid-March, late March time. During this period of time, you want to be doing what I like to call fundamental revision. Basically, all that is you're looking at the key things in each subject that carry the most marks and making sure those things are crystal clear to you. A good opportunity to do this is your mock exams. They usually come in the second term. You prep for them, you revise, you make sure those basics, the big topics in the subjects are nailed down and understood. A way to figure out what the fundamental topics are in each of your subjects is get the syllabus, get the past papers, get the mark schemes. Take a look at them. Figure out which topics are coming up often and which topics proportionally take up the most space on the syllabus, proportionally take up the most marks on a past paper, and are mentioned a lot in the mark schemes. And then you know, okay, I need to know that. That's key to this subject. Then what will happen is once you've understood and nailed down that fundamental thing you need to understand in each subject, it will lead you to understand the more detailed pieces, which often get the higher grade marks later down the line. And squad, let me tell you something. I know that GCSEs have just changed. I know that everything's a bit fuzzy, unclear, there aren't that many past papers, all these different things that we got to contend with. But let me tell you something else. We're going to dial 999 and take a police escort straight to Nineville. We're going to be there come May time. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to cruise the exam coach way, smash through these barriers. We don't care if it's tough. We're just going to dominate, get our head down, go straight to Nineville, smash it the exam coach way. Here we go. And one more thing, just in case some of you keen Ninevillers are saying, hey, coach, I want to get into the detail in term 2. I want to be getting those grade 9s straight up term 2 in the mock exams. I'd say, okay, if you want to do that, you can do that. But don't risk burnout and don't risk making revision boring for yourself. You want to be peaking come May time. The other thing is you don't want to skip those fundamentals. You need to make sure those fundamentals are easy for you, are in your head, ready to go whenever, wherever you need them. Phase 3 is all about going all in on exam success. This is when you really turn it on and begin revising with intensity and regularity. All you need to do now is fill in the gaps from phase 2. In phase 2, we focused on the fundamentals, the big topics in each subject that you need to understand. Now what you need to do is make sure you understand the detail needed to get those top grades to hit Nineville. The way you want to remember the detail is you want to use specific revision techniques like active recall and spaced repetition. You want to do reps and sets of this as if you were training for a sports competition. It's about forcing your brain to recall the information without assistance and doing this regularly over a spaced period of time so that when you hit exam day, you're good to go. In terms of your routine, you want to make sure you're still doing stuff to relieve your exam stress, but you also want to make sure you're prioritizing your revision sessions over extracurricular stuff when it makes sense. For example, if you've got an exam on a Tuesday morning and you got a bit of Monday night footy on the cards, you may want to sack off footy, make sure you get your revision session, smash the exam, and then do something to relieve some stress. So over the course of phase 3, you want to be building up momentum so you're on peak form and everything is super clear in your head and you're ready to go come exam day. It just makes sense, just like you'd be taught any other type of activity or a sport. First off, you assess where you're at and you gather all the theory and information you need to know. Secondly, you get the fundamentals on point and nailed down. Thirdly, you sweat the details to get to that top level where you want to be. If you found this video useful, give it a like, ask any questions in the comments below, subscribe to the channel, there's loads more content coming out specific to GCSEs this year. Follow me on Snapchat too, that's where the daily updates happen, the quick tips on the fly, the useful stuff that you can apply this year for your exam performance. I'm checking out, I'll see you next time.